Hey, what's up? I'm Tremaine Hicks. I'm exonerated after serving 19 plus years of a wrongful conviction. I was shot 3 times in my back by a Philadelphia police officer trying to help some woman, a woman that I didn't know. She was being raped. The cops reacted too fast, knee-jerk reaction, assumed that I was the assailant, and just shot. I survived, fortunately for me, but unfortunately, this was the beginning of the cover-up. Cops lied, said I was the assailant. I didn't even match the description. They put me in the clothing of the actual assailant. They planted a gun that was registered to a Philadelphia police officer. I was shot behind a hospital. They didn't take me inside to that hospital. Left me on the ground for about 20 minutes. Obviously, they wanted me to die with a mistake. But God saw fit, man, and here I am today, nearly 21 years later. I was exonerated December 16th, 2020, approaching 2 years rapidly, man. I am excited for what life has, the future moving forward, all that I'm doing, and it's just pretty cool, man, and I am grateful. Wow, how has that time 19 years of a wrongful conviction changed my outlook on life? Well, that's a loaded question, right? I mean, I went inside the penitentiary, I was 26, right? I was young, I was a young father. I was at a crossroads. I didn't necessarily know where I was going at in my life. I knew that what I was doing, it wasn't fulfilling, I wasn't satisfied, and I knew that there was much more to my life. Couldn't quite put my finger on it. Had no idea that I was gonna get shot 3 times in my back, wrongly accused, 20 cops testify against me, and wound up doing nearly 2 decades in the penitentiary. So, looking back, it made me grow up, made me become a man, faster than probably I was ready. Looking back now that my son, he's 25 years old. I was 26 when this happened to me. My son was 4. My son is more of a man at 25 today than I was at 26. He's married. He has his own son. He has his own house built up from the ground, and he's working. And I'm very proud of my son and the things that he was able to accomplish. So again, it changed me, man. It changed me for the better. It set my ass down, and had me do some real serious, deep introspection, man, and just to take a look and see where I wanted to go in life, what I really wanted to do, and what was my purpose as far as living, but also surviving what I went through. Writing has always been a part of me. I grew up in the 80s, born in the 70s, raised in the 80s, the birth of hip hop. So early on, I used to want to be a rapper, man. Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick, LL, Run DMC, Curtis Blow and all them guys, man. Early days of Def Jam before the Lil Babies and, Lil Uzi Vert and everybody else with Lil in front of their name. Before that, so I was writing. So coming into my own, I didn't really take the time or have the time to sit down and try to develop my writing skills. Naturally, sitting in the penitentiary, all you have is time. So I was sitting down, and took a quick inventory of what it was that I was good at and the best way to utilize all this free time that I had, and it was writing. Wasn't necessarily writing rhymes. I was writing poetry, but more so creating stories, man, short plays, short films. So yeah, writing was key. That was one. Working out, wellness, physical fitness was 2, man, and a lot of reading. Because in order to be a successful writer, you need to have something to write about. You need to be knowledgeable, man. Just taking all this good stuff in these books, man. And so I did a lot of reading as well. The best and worst prison food. Well, that's an interesting question because for one, I don't eat beef and I don't eat pork. And I was about 17 when I stopped doing that. So we're talking approximately 30 years now. Inside the penitentiary for me, the best and the food deteriorated over the 2 decades that I was there. When I first went there, the food was pretty damn good. The day that I was exonerated, the day that I left prison, I was rarely going to the chow hall to eat anything. I was eating out of the commissary, the store, the canteen, man. But early on, I would say breakfast was the best. The blueberry pancakes, or the fried eggs. Throughout the week, you get pancakes twice a week, fried eggs on every Saturday, clockwork. Then some lunches, you was getting chicken, baked chicken. This was early on. This was the early 2000s, but towards the end, the blueberry, grilled pancakes turned into the little Save-A-Lot type joints that you get pre-frozen cooked joints. Horrible, didn't eat them. And chicken was, didn't even see chicken anymore. We actually thought that they was cooking the geese that was out in the yard. So the food just went down drastically, and we wound up spending more and more money at commissary. So actually oatmeal. And I ate oatmeal for breakfast after a real serious workout. I just add some peanut butter to it. A lot of the tuna packs, I still eat a lot of tuna, a lot of fish. So, the food is horrendous. A miracle that I'm not malnutritioned at all because of the way that they feed you inside there, man. I wasn't rich. I'm not rich, so I didn't have a lot of money coming in, and you only making top dollar inside the penitentiary was 42 cents an hour, which is equivalent to, for the month, you get paid once a month. So I was bringing in $36 a month. Cable was $20. You dig what I'm saying? And if you was, had any type of hygienic sense, you're going to spend $20 to $30 just on hygienes per month. Hygienics. So, I had my family and friends looking out. I made it work, man. Nuts and peanuts, and oatmeal. People find this hard to believe, but I never ate a Chi-Chi. Y'all know what a Chi-Chi is? Ever heard of a Chi-Chi? So never ate a Chi-Chi, but a Chi-Chi is equivalent to the heart attack burger that I be seeing out here now. A Chi-Chi is a real cheap version of that, right? It's just noodles, ramen noodles, right? Crunched up. It's cheese curls, crunched up. And you can put all types of meats in there. Guys put pork sausages, beef sausages, turkey sausages, tuna, salt. Everything I just named was sodium, right? Ramen noodle, sodium. Cheese curls, sodium. Turkey sausages, pork sausages, beef sausages, sodium, right? And they put it all in one bag, and they swish it with hot water, and you swish it up, and you wrap it in a towel. That's your oven. And you sit it on top of the radiator. That's the other oven. And you let it sit there for 15, 20 minutes, and you pull it down. It's a cake, right? And you slice and dice, put that shit in your bowl, and guys was eating that. I never ate one, and I'm probably the only man that walked through the penitentiary, sit there and tell you that he ain't never ate a Chi-Chi. The other thing was, the other question that you asked was about, wine, jailhouse wine. Never drunk any of that, that stuff. Obviously, it's all natural, but it's fermented. You dig what I'm saying? With the fermented fruit, the bread, the yeast from the bread, and it just sitting, and it gives a distinct, unique smell to it.
Do you know how it's made?
Yeah, I'm telling. How? So you taking fruit, literally. You cut. You taking oranges and apples and bananas, and you putting it in a pail. A pail that you bought from commissary to probably either soak your feet in or to wash your clothes in. Either or, you pick. Or to cook your food in, to boil water in it. And you put a trash bag inside the pail as the lining. And you take all types of fruit, natural fruits, oranges, apples, bananas, canned fruit, and bread, because the yeast from the bread causes the swell and the ferment even quicker. Sugar on top of sugar, and then more sugar. Like everything you do in prison is excessive and unhealthy. Everything. So it takes a different individual. I don't have any advice, because each individual, you can tell someone anything, going in what you did to get through. I was in the midst of it, man, and I talked to men coming through all the time. I worked in the chaplaincy department. And the chaplaincy department in any penitentiary across the United States of America, for the most part, is the intake for not only new commits, men that's coming to prison for a short period of time, a long period of time, the rest of their life, or to sit on death row. But it's also the intake for new staff. Future correctional officers, future social workers, and kitchen stewards, and medical staff. Everybody, they come through the chaplaincy department. And basically to weather their unsettled nerves, to introduce them to this new life, this new journey they're about to embark on, guilty, innocent, or future employee. And so I worked in the chaplaincy department. So I seen everybody, at their purest sense when they first come into a penitentiary. And Gradisford, which is now closed, I believe it was like the third oldest penitentiary in this country, somewhere around there. It's definitely in the top 5. And Gradisford had a reputation as a rough joint, man, bad joint. Bad penitentiary, bad environment, man. It was some killers there. People say I've been around killers. Nah, it was literally some killers there. I mean, I'm talking to guys that murdered their whole family. Didn't know until later. I'm like, damn, I'm just talking to this guy. He's really crazy. I'm there with real rapists. Some sick people, pedophiles. So I didn't seek any advice from nobody. The only advice that I had for myself was get the hell out. Like, man, you are convicted. You dig what I'm saying? You going up against a system. These cops is lying. So my whole mission for me was to prove them wrong. You dig what I'm saying? Was to get out. So and the rule number 1, especially if you're innocent, don't talk to nobody about your case, because that man that's sitting next to you that is guilty, and he may be sitting there for 1 year, 10 years, or 50 years, he want to go home too. So he would take anything that you say to him, anything, and conjure up any type of story to pitch it to the DA to say, this guy told me X, Y, and Z. Now this guy gonna get a deal from the district attorney to take the stand to testify against you to get him out of jail sooner, but to keep you in there possibly for forever. So don't talk about your case to no one. It was a handful of people that knew what I was incarcerated for. When I say a handful, I'm talking maybe 10 people in a penitentiary where there's 4,000 people. You dig what I'm saying? 4,000 men that are incarcerated, probably in an additional 800 staff. So we're talking nearly 5,000 people, but only maybe 10 knew what I was incarcerated for. And and I wasn't a bad guy. You dig what I'm saying? Don't cross them. Don't try to disrespect me or play me. But I wasn't a bad guy. I wasn't looking for violence. I wasn't carrying myself like, don't try me, you better try me, whatever. I wasn't doing none of that. Again, my main objective was to get out. So I was doing everything that I possibly could to get out, and in the process, was staying busy. Inside the penitentiary, man, it's a hurry up the wait. One, it's Groundhog Day because it's the same damn thing every same damn day. Like you wake up Sunday and you believe it's Thursday when it's actually Monday. It's crazy. It's like bananas, man. Everything, it's the same thing every damn day. So, sanity, wellness is key, man. Take care of yourself, man. You don't eat them Chi-Chis, Don't drink on that hooch. When you go there as a whole man, your objective, if you're fortunate enough to get out, is to leave as a whole or better man. Don't leave half yourself, because when you leave half yourself, you become a part of the recidivism, which is, 70% now? So you talking, 7 out of every 10 people that come home is going right back within the first 9 months. These are the ones that went in there and indulge in everything that is contrary to wellness, And so yeah, again, stay to yourself, but be smart about it. Learn a trade, acquire a skill, do something constructive. So who did I have in mind when I came up with the concept for Step Up? Well, that's a great question, because I tell you guys this all the time. I had you guys, Tristan and Dimitri and, your generation. The time I came up with the idea for Step Up in 2008, right? Watching the news, reading the papers, and just seeing tragedy after tragedy amongst the youth, these school shootings, the violence, man, kids bullying kids, the suicides. And I'm not seeing anything that's being done differently. So I'm sitting there like, damn, we need something similar to DARE of the 80s with Ronald and Nancy Reagan. Nancy Reagan, the first lady, in the 80s, came up with this whole concept of DARE to keep kids off of drugs. And it was a good movement, It was pretty successful, to say the least. I don't know if it's still around, But Step Up, man, I wanted to teach kids critical thinking and conflict resolution in the simplest form. I learned being inside the penitentiary up until, so from 2008, when I came up with the concept for Step Up, I was incarcerated for 7 years. I've written, produced on my own, probably about 7 of my original plays. I did a lot of writing, and I was seeing, the feedback that I was getting from the younger generation of, at my style of writing, the way that I was producing these plays and putting them on. It was very impactful. I wrote a play back in 2002, and here it is, 2008. An inmate, is talking to me about that particular play. I really don't remember because I remember it, but they remember it verbatimly because it struck a nerve in them. So I'm like, damn, these plays, this form of entertainment is sitting with them. Why not teach? You dig what I'm saying? So hence, that was the birth of Step Up, man. Being able to create short reenactments of real life situations, man. Because, I'm seeing these kids come up in the penitentiary because that's what they were. They getting younger and younger, the population inside the penitentiary, and they staying for longer and longer, life sentences. And some of them didn't fully understand the concept of what a life sentence was. I had one guy come up to me, show me his status sheet. And in Pennsylvania, I know in every state it's probably different, but in Pennsylvania, once you get sentenced and you get committed to ward of the state, they give you a sheet of paper. Sometimes, depending on how long, how often you was going back and forth through the penitentiary, it'd be a couple of pages. But if you like a first-time guy, it's typically 1 page, front and back. And it has your name, your institutional number, which you are forever known by now, and your charges, the judge you was in front of, the county in Pennsylvania that you're from. It's 27 counties in PA. The county in which you were sentenced, the type of sentence, your charges, and how long you gonna stay. And, if you had a 2 to 4, it would say 2 years minimum, maximum 4 years. Parole at 2 years. But if you had a life sentence, it said sentence indefinite. You dig what I'm saying? It said indefinite. So what the hell? You're not coming home. Life is life. So this young guy, he came up to me some years ago, probably about 10 years ago, 2012. And asked me if I understood what his status sheet said. So I looked at it, and he had a murder, second-degree murder, him and a couple of his buddies went to go do a robbery. He didn't necessarily sign up to go kill somebody. He signed up to do the robbery. In PA, second degree is called felony murder, and that's called transfer intent rule. Whereas though, if it's 3 of y'all agree to go commit a crime, and one of the 3 kill a guy, all 3 of y'all gonna get charged with that homicide, not necessarily the robbery. So even though you have a second degree murder charge, the underlying charge is robbery. You're convicted of that. And conspiracy carries the same exact time as the perpetrator. So now so the guy that did the murder got a life sentence. You, my friend, gonna get charged with that murder. Now you got a life sentence, even though you didn't agree to have this individual to get killed. Some guys, in some cases, was actually the lookout person in the car who fell asleep. Heard gunshots, woke up. Everybody come running. They got in the car, drove away. Somebody got locked up. One person told, not all of them in jail on the same homicide, serving a life sentence. So when I told the young man, I said, man, you got a life sentence, man. He broke down. And this kid was 19, 20 years old. He ain't begin to live, He's about 30, 31 now, and Lord knows. And then you got some guys, it doesn't settle in immediately. Some guys will be in jail the first 5, 10, 15 years to some guys is like a honeymoon. They see it, but then they start seeing their friends leave, go home on parole, max out their sentence, or some guys leave and come back, they still sitting in jail. They get, that bothers them now. Like, damn it, where everybody go? They look around, it's all new people. You dig what I'm saying? So now they want to get back up in court. You time barred. And what time barred means in PA is you waited too long to challenge your appeal, so you forfeited your right to appeal, your constitutional right, meaning you are now blocked from getting back into court. I've been on 21 months. And what I'm doing with Step Up, man, is fulfilling. You know, when you talk to people, very few of them chase their dreams, right? Very few. And for the most part, unfortunately, they try to relive their dreams through their children. And this is why most of their children grow up despising them, being angry with them, or do whatever it is that they do, you know, just to disregard their parents. My vision and my dream, I'm living it right now, man. You know, it's very humbling. It's very fulfilling. It's very exciting. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm still learning. I tell people that all the time. You know, I'm doing so much in such little time. Even my attorneys, man, they be like, what can't you do? And, you know, I tell them nothing. I mean, well, you know, just, wait till I figure it out. You know, I'm still learning. So at the end of the day, there's nothing that I can't do once I put my mind to it. And I had a conversation with my mother. This when I was younger. She was taking me back to school. I got suspended from school for something. And my mom, she told me, she said, boy, man, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. At the time, I was 14, 15. I heard it, but yeah, you're an old lady. You know what you're talking about. You dig what I'm saying? But I tell you what, man, that conversation in that car on the way back to Germantown High School played over and over again in my head while I was incarcerated, since I've been home. You put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything, you know? And I'm accomplished everything that I said I would do and then some. When I was writing my plays in the penitentiary, I wanted to, with the positive energy of, I just want to reach one person. You dig what I'm saying? I'm performing these plays in the auditorium at Greatest-Ford, or at the chapel at Greatest-Ford, or in the chapel at the other jail that I was at, Somerset, out there by Pittsburgh. And I always prayed before I started writing a particular play, God bless me with the wherewithal to touch one person. And I can sit there and tell you, over the years, over the 19 plus years that I was incarcerated, obviously more than one person came to me on various occasions, said, man, your play did this for me. Your play inspired me to do this, that, and the third. Countless, man. So, you know, those are answered prayer. I don't go in it with a haughty head saying I'm going to affect everybody. Because now you'd be a fool. I'm not trying to affect everybody. I just want to reach one person, man. These short films, educational films, these scripts that I've written, that I wrote, I want to just affect one kid, because that one kid may not carry that gun up in that school that day. That one kid may not bully that kid, or that will encourage him to go and commit suicide that particular day. Those are the ones I'm worried about, man. You know, each one teach one. So at the end of the day, man, it is very fulfilling and humbling what I'm doing. I am encouraged by the feedback. However, we have a YouTube channel, and this content, you know, these short films are on a YouTube channel. I'm still learning this. My goal, the vision, is to have these short films aired in every classroom across this country, even beyond. But let's keep it simple. United States of America, right? Because violence is prevalent. Bullying is prevalent. And naturally, if I had 1 million employees, it'd still be difficult to get in every single classroom. Click subscribe. Click the like button. Help us. You know, I'm a numbers guy. I was incarcerated wrongfully for 6,893 days. That's how many days I was incarcerated. But 12/16 is very significant. December 16th, 2020 was the day that I was exonerated. So what I want is obviously 1,216 subscribers at a minimum. Help me out. Help us get to that 1,000 subscribers to get the attention of YouTube to stream this all across the country. Because all the kids and adults and teachers and responsible ones need to view this content, need to be encouraged, need to know how to step up in a respectful, reasonable, and polite way.